There we go. All right, so Steve-O, I will stop sharing my screen and ask you to start,
All
brother,
right.
and the floor is yours.
All right. Cool. Thank you guys for your time today. And this might get a little more personal than maybe what you thought it might be, if that's all right. And so I'm gonna hop in here and give you guys kind of my learnings from the last 40 years or the last 5 minutes. So I'm 40 years old, so I figured I could give you that much. 14,823. Does anybody have any idea what that number might be? The 32,850.
Minutes you've spent selling compared to how long you've been alive?
You're getting there. Anybody else?
Was that minutes awake?
Nope. Kind of. Yeah, actually. Yeah, you're getting closer. Nice job, Eric. Christina? Bryce? No? All right. 32,850 is the number of days that you would live if you made it till you were 90 years old.
Mm.
And 14,823 is the number of days that I've been alive today. And, somebody asked me one time, like, what's the most important thing in life? And I think it's like time, right? Because it's a limited resource that you only have a certain amount of. And I just like to think about, like, this helps me. It might seem cryptic, or not cryptic, but, just kind of like dark, but for me, it helps give me perspective on what I do with my life. And, there's this poem by Mary Oliver called The Summer Day, and it says, tell me what it is that you plan to do with your one wild and precious life, right? And so, I don't know, I know sometimes we can think about, like, the big picture of our life. What do we want to do? What are the huge goals that we want to achieve? And even in sales, like, hey, I need to get to this like 1.2 million number. And you can sometimes think about that, and it can be like overwhelming in a sense. And what I've been thinking about a lot is this idea of like smaller habits. So I've been reading this book, Atomic Habits, by James Clear, and he makes a case that you really want to start to focus on the small things that you do in life versus the huge goals, and be more focused on, daily doing something small to get yourself to be the type of person that you want to be. If he talks about taking the first two steps, which is decide the person that you want to be, and then prove it to yourself with small wins. Have you got anybody read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? Stephen Covey. Yep. So he's got this whole thing with beginning with the end in mind, and writing your mission statement for life. And he basically comes up with this exercise that you're supposed to do before you go into the book any further, which is write a mission statement for your life. Imagine yourself at your own funeral, and imagine that somebody from work goes up and talks about you. Imagine somebody from your family goes up and talks about you. Imagine somebody from, your church goes up and talks about you. What would they say? And I think it's like critically important to think about this stuff at a macro level. And Craig, forgive me if this isn't like all the sales earnings. Okay. So I'm taking a little bit of free reign, but I think it's critically important to think about who you want to be, and then prove that to yourself with little small wins. And I know, this year has been such a challenge for us all, because everybody struggled with success and work. Like everybody. Christina, you had an awesome win at the end of the year, which was incredible. And it was great, but the rest of the year was I'm sure a challenge for you, you know. And we're all going to have those wins, but you know, that's like the work thing has been a huge challenge this year. But you know, if I think about who I am and who I want to be as a person, and this might, you know, be more personal than you guys wanted to know about me, but like one of the top things I want to be is a follower of Christ in my life. I want to be a really committed husband and father to my kids. I want to be a very consultative salesperson and work with integrity for the people that I'm selling to. And I want to be in the top 5 to 10 percentile in my profession and what I do. And you know, some people want to be like the number one person, and that's awesome. I don't personally want to be the number one person, because for me it would take too much. It would take too much out of my life of the other things that I want to be, like being top, you know, 10 percentile in sports, top 5 to 10 percentile in sports, in like things like cycling or mountain biking. I'm a guitarist. You know, I love connecting people, being a teacher and mentor, and also being well read. So when I think about my life, you know, those are some of the things that I want to be really known for. And you know, for me, it's helpful to write that stuff down so that when I go out and take action in the world, I can go back to that and say, hey, you know, when I get to the end of my life, which is already 45% over, I calculated that calculation today. I want people to be able to say this about me. And again, I think from a work perspective, it's just been such a challenging year with the pandemic to have to be patient, because really, like, this was like almost impossible to do. You know, to be the top 10 percentile in your sales profession. It was a challenge in the last year. So one of the other books that I read this year, or that I'm in the process of reading, is You Can't Teach a Kid to Ride a Bike at a Seminar. It's like the Sandler method of training. And I thought it coincided really well with like that, you know, make small habits to get to where you want to be. So he has something called daily behaviors, which for me, these, you know, based on who I want to be, my daily behaviors are read the Bible, meditate on it, spend time with my wife, Kristen, read to my girls every night. We read, you know, that's one of the things that I do as a dad. Make at least 10 sales calls, exercise at least 30 minutes, and read a sales improvement book to improve my craft. And, you know, these things, I think they change, but if you can improve a little bit each day to get to where you want to be, you know, I think that's what you have to, or that's what we have to do to be able to improve and to get to the end of the day and be like, hey, I might not have made a sale today, which is like an outcome, but I did the things that I know I need to do to get to that sale. I know I did those 10 sales calls. I know I read a sales improvement book or read a chapter in a book to keep myself going. These daily behaviors tie back to who I want to be as a person. And, you know, I thought that was a cool quote, which is basically from Atomic Habits, like, whatever your habits are, that's the trajectory that you're on. You know, another thing he says in that book is you could be a millionaire today, but if you're on a trajectory of spending more money than you actually earn, then you're actually on a negative trajectory. Or you could not be a millionaire, but you're spending less money than you earn each year and you're saving up to like get to that point. So I like that, you know, that trajectory. What trajectory are you on? When you look at your habits, what's the trajectory that you're moving towards? So that this was actually a really helpful thing, tangible thing for me in work this year, is just to write a little journal of the things I want to do each day and check them off. And then to go back and look at the day, you know, in the past and say, hey, did I do that? And score myself. Did I get a 70 that day? Did I make the 10 calls? Did I do all the things that I wanted to do? because that's who I want to be. That's what I want to track myself against. So that daily behaviors thing has been helpful for me. I need to be better about doing it every day, as I'm sure you guys may struggle with like habits and making your habits positive. But that daily behavior sheet was really helpful. And again, looking back at what do you want to do with your life, or having that mission statement up front so you know where you're headed, and then you can do those daily behaviors to get there. Last thing, one of the kind of far out things that I've talked about for 5 years is hiking the presidentials in one day. It's a goal that I've had for 5 years to do, and I just scheduled it to do it on Friday, June 18th. It's like a 20-mile hike, I think like 10,000 or 8,000 feet in elevation gain. But that's like more of not a daily thing, but like something that I want to do in the next 2 weeks. So for me now, I can know that I have to get my butt in gear and like do a little bit more exercise each day. So that's like taking more of a long-term goal. And then the last thing is, I know a lot of you guys, you might have heard this. My good friend lost his daughter. My best friend, one of my best friends, and my daughter's best friend. This is my daughter on the right. Her name was Ellie, and one of the things that she taught me was to really celebrate each day. She passed away on the 11th of the 10th or the 11th of February, but one of the things that she knew was like her life. I think she knew inherently that her life was not going to be very long, and that would help her. That helped her to like celebrate like things like meals with her family. And so like you might have small things like a conversation with a sales prospect. It's not a closed deal, but like it's a great thing, that you can celebrate. I think, Craig, you do a good job of helping us do that, to like celebrate those, those good calls, or, the positive things, the opportunity to exercise. You have your health today, take that opportunity to like celebrate the the opportunity to exercise. And even things that drive you nuts, like me putting my kids to bed, is like the most insane thing that just like drives me crazy. But it's a great opportunity to celebrate when you think about life is short, and it's just something that she taught me. So I think overall, time is the most precious asset that you have in life. Figure out who you want to be, and then just do small things every day to get on that trajectory of who you want to be, and give yourself grace and celebrate each day. Celebrate the small stuff, and that I think makes life good. And I really believe, like Craig, that there's a bunch of pent up demand in work this year, and I think we're all going to benefit from that, like starting to come back into play. So I think we got a lot of like great celebrations coming up, and then there's going to be those little things that we got to keep celebrating too. So thanks for bearing with me for 15 minutes. That's my quick presentation, my KED talk. Anything that I can answer for you guys on this, or elaborate on any questions that you have?
Steve, I don't have a question. I just want to tell you that first, I so appreciate you sharing with us today. I really, really enjoyed hearing you as a person. So often, especially in our profession, it's wins and dollars, and especially now that we can't go to BTAN anymore, we just don't see each other as people as much. So I want to thank you for that. And I really enjoyed the spin you took on, our sales training, because I do agree with you that if there was anything that we took away from this past year with the pandemic, was the importance of time, and how we spend our time. And sometimes it is just about having a really great conversation with the salesperson, and all of those little behaviors you do every day will lead you to something at the end. And so I just I needed that this morning, so thank you very much.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
was
expect
awesome,
it
Steve.
to cry. I didn't expect to cry on Monday mornings, but
No, I was that was awesome, Steve. I feel bad for whoever has to go next Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sucks.
So I'll be in the.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I know. I can't beat that, but I'm bringing the fire. So.
Bryce has got this. He's
Yeah,
got it.
no.
no
It's not about, it's just like, I think we all have like unique gifts, right? Like each of us has a unique gift that plays a part, and that each of us on a team can benefit from, like what is it, Jordan Peterson? I know he's not some people love him, some people hate him, but like he's got the 12 rules of life. One of them is always suppose the person that you're talking to knows something that you don't, like even if they have a total different perspective from you, because you can learn something. You can learn something if you're listening versus like if you say, you know what, I don't know, or I know what I know and that's enough. You can learn a lot. So I'm excited for you, Bryce.
It'll be good, guys. Hey,
Yeah.
Steve, thank you, brother.
Yeah,
thank
thanks,
you.
Steve. That was awesome.
Let me kill us here for this.